Hello friends, thank you for joining us on Thursday. Now, it is a beautiful day here. We've got some lovely sunshine, but it's ducking in and out behind the clouds. And because most of what you see is basically lit by the sunlight, it'll get darker and lighter during the program. I'll try and keep on top of that as best I can. It is Thursday, which means the cleaner is coming sometime later today, which means I'll have to rush around and clean things up. Just turning on the iPad, making sure it's working, and reminding you that if you've got an opportunity to subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. Also, tell your friends I'm enjoying doing this, and hopefully I'm imparting some good information. Let's go to our first story today, and this is a bit of an update on a story yesterday. And Thai English wakeboarder Daniel Grant was given a 1-month suspended jail term and a fine of 5,000 baht by the court for obstructing road and causing potential harm to people and vehicles. Now, he was wakeboarding in some of the floodwaters north of Bangkok. Well, what else are you going to do? You've got a wakeboard, you've got the water. Of course, you're going to take advantage of it. So this is an update on what happened to him. He's a Thai-based Thai English wakeboarder champ. He posted a video of himself showing his world-class talent on a flooded road, and of course it went viral. He's 24 years old. He confessed it was him on the road, and the court reduced the fine from 10,000 to 5,000 baht. So there you are, a bit of an update on what happened to Mr. Daniel Grant. I expect he'll probably be doing most of his wakeboarding in the future at a wakeboard park. And the other story to give a bit of an update on, this was a story yesterday also reported in the Bangkok Post. Wealthy Americans and Chinese topped the list of the new Thai visa applicants. These are the people applying for the long-term resident visas. There's 5 categories, and we should spend a whole day going through those one day, but we won't do that today. I just thought it was worth noting that I didn't mention yesterday about the fact that the most numerous people applying for this were Americans and Chinese. So the story goes that the US nationals account for 20% of the 400 applications and Chinese 15%. Just going down a bit further in that story, UK people were about 10% of those applicants. So just noting there that Americans and Chinese the most numerous in the applicants, so that maybe they could sit down and have a bit of a chat about Taiwan. Now, I just got my calculator out here because I thought the Thai government was hoping in the first 5 years they could attract 1 million applicants through these new long-term resident visas. Okay, that's fine. Let's just check the maths on that, because if in 12 days they got 400 applicants, let's round that out to 1,000 for the first month. Oh, hang on, got that wrong. So 1,000 times 12 for a year, and then 5 for the first 5 years comes to 60,000. So 60,000 isn't 1 million. And I'm also assuming that the first 400 were the sort of the first peak, the initial enthusiasm for the program coming through. Sorry, by the way, about some flashes on the camera. I can't really do much about that, although I have written to the software people. They haven't figured out how to stop it, so I apologise for that. I do know it's happening. Well, yes, there is something I can do about it. I can change over to the camera on the computer, which isn't as good quality, so I apologise for that, but at least you won't get any flashing. Let's go to the Bangkok Post story. The main story today, the House votes down bill on cannabis and hemp. The Ganja Bill, they're nicknaming it, been withdrawn. The House of Representatives yesterday resolved to withdraw the cannabis and hemp bill from its agenda by 198 to 136 votes. There were 12 abstentions pending revision of its content. Now, the decision to withdraw the bill was opposed by the Bumjai Thai Party, who originally sponsored the legislation. The second paragraph here, before the House meeting commenced, the Democrat Party said it wanted the bill withdrawn and was threatening to vote against it if the House proceeds with it. Also noting here, quite importantly, the party also wanted the Ministry of Public Health to review its announcement removing cannabis from the narcotics list and reinstate it as a narcotic. So let's be abundantly clear about what's going on here. All this and the problems that are currently being caused in the Parliament getting this legislation through go back to the fact that it's not a Thai government being progressive and liberal and updating its drug laws. This is all to do with a political payback. And the Bumjai Thai Party, which currently have control of some 61 votes in the 250-seat lower house of parliament, ran in the 2019 election on the platform of decriminalising cannabis. Okay, that's fine, and they got quite a few votes. Now, to form a coalition, the Palang Prayut Party needed the Bumjai Thai Party and the Democrats to vote with them to get legislation through and to form a government. So this announcement was all about a payback. Now, if the Bumjai Thai Party can't get this legislation through and the whole act is scrapped and the decriminalisation goes back to making cannabis an illicit drug again, then there's going to be recriminations. And the main recrimination would be that the Bumjai Thai will leave the coalition and they'll vote with the opposition. And then in the next election, well, we can see what's going to happen. And it's people interpreting laws that really don't exist. And now the first chance for the parliament to sit down and vote on laws has been rejected. And I don't know how this is going to be cleaned up. And going further, I think it's probably going to be until March next year until they get a chance to revisit this legislation. Back to this particular story. And this is also from the Democrats. We would like the committee vetting the bill to withdraw it for review so that it could be amended in line with an altered version of the Ministry of Public Health's announcement. If the House insists in continuing with the deliberation of the bill, the Democrat Party would vote against it. And the Bumjai Thai Party have responded by saying the bill being deliberated is intended to provide clear guidelines for the use of cannabis. If this legislation were dropped, there would be a vacuum regarding the use of cannabis. Well, that vacuum does exist now, and it's existed since June the 6th, when people have completely misinterpreted the intention of the laws and the change of the laws to decriminalise cannabis. And also noting down the bottom of that story that the representative from Bumjai Thai said members of Parliament could still raise objections while the bill was being debated in the second reading. If any flaws or shortcomings were found, corrections could still be made to it. You're watching TNT on camera number 2 using the computer's camera because the other one is misbehaving today. That's okay. Glad I got the backup. Sorry about the quality. Let's go to our next story today. And it's from the Tiger. The standard taxi fee of 45 to 50 baht agreed, but more at Thai airports. Let's go through some of those fees. So the flag fall, this is the fall. When you get into the taxi, there's going to be a flag fall before you start moving. And so this is what these numbers are about. A 1600 to 1800 cc taxi car. I recall that most of those little Toyota Vios that they drive around probably 1600 cc, but the flag fall will start at 45 baht, and 2000 cc plus taxi cars, the flag fall will be 50 baht. Just going down to the bottom there, in a traffic jam when the taxi cars move about 25 kilometres per hour, the taxi fare will cost 5 baht per minute, and a service charge for taxi service in airports will be 75 to 90 baht according to the size of the car and engine. In the past, because I've travelled from the airport by taxi many times, there's been a 50 baht fee to be picked up at the airport. So that article showing there all those new fees, I'm not exactly sure when it's going to come into play, but if it is announced, it will usually take 90 days to become law in the Royal Gazette. To our next story, and from The Nation, Nok Air set to discontinue direct flights to and from Betong. Nok Air has decided not to continue direct flights to and from Betong International Airport in Yala after Flying Betong Direct project ends this month. And Nok Air is saying it would not be continued, and the airline's using the 86-seater Q400, that's the Bombardier Dash 8. No, I think that's it. That's a nice little aeroplane with a big pointy nose. And noting that the TAT teamed up with Nok Air for this particular project. In the past, tourists from Malaysia and Singapore made up to 70 to 80% of tourists visiting Betong. He blamed expensive airfares as the main obstacle to promote Betong as a tourist destination. The fare of 6,000 baht per trip to Betong was high compared to airfares for foreign destinations. I've been flying from Phuket to Bangkok regularly over the past 2 years, and I don't think I've ever paid more than 1,200, often down to 700 or 800 baht each way. That's a long way from 6,000 baht for a round trip to Betong. So where is Betong? I just thought you might like to know. There's Phuket up the top there. We've got Malaysia down the bottom. I've penciled in the border of Thailand and Malaysia in yellow, and there, right on the border there, is Betong, right down in the very, very, very south of Thailand. Now, it's actually a very beautiful area and certainly worth visiting, but this particular proposal from the TAT, thinking that Thais would just be rushing to Betong, and they built an airport down there, and they organised Nok Air to even buy some new planes to service that particular route. And the TAT, not particularly good with their sums in the past, perhaps not doing their sums and not doing their research to find out if Thais wanted to go to Betong. So it looks like that airport's going to remain quite quiet, and Nok Air really just licking its wounds, its tail between its legs, and trying to figure out why on earth they got involved with this particular project. You're watching the TNT program today, and just noting some other stories. The Nation reporting that Constitutional Court will decide Prayut's fate as the PM on September the 30th. And just noting there on the third paragraph, the court announced that it had not ended the inquiry process. It would have each of the 10 judges in the case announce their decisions at 3 p.m. on September the 30th. So we'll hear about the fate of Prayut Chan-o-cha at the end of this month. In the meantime, the caretaker Prime Minister, Prayut Wongsuwon, will continue to take care of his services. To our next story, this one from Monga Bay, and Thailand's contentious plan to curtail bottom trawling unfolds in slow motion. No, this is not a story about Pattaya, it's about the fishing industry. And Thailand's been implementing a series of reforms to its fishing sector since 2015. This is the important part. In July, the Thai government announced a ban on new registrations for bottom trawlers, a particularly destructive and indiscriminate kind of fishing vessel, coupled with a $30 million US dollar buyout program for those trawlers and other gear types. Small-scale fishermen are saying the reforms don't go far enough, but of course the commercial industry fishermen say that the new rules are hobbling their industry and should be scrapped. There's been a lot of effort put into trying to reform Thailand's fishing industry, a whole lot of issues involving slave labour and also some of these indiscriminate fishing practices. So the Thai government does seem to be at least ploughing forward, if not, as the writers say, in slow motion. Rolling Loud is headed to Thailand in 2023. Good to see a big international event heading Thailand's way. It's scheduled for April next year, 2023. The festival will spotlight some of the most exciting Thai and Asian artists in the music industry. The venue for the festival has yet to be disclosed, and festival co-founders say it will take place in a picturesque location. Where do you think it should be held? I'm thinking it's going to have to be either Bangkok, Pattaya or Phuket. Maybe it could be held on Phang Nga. They've already got a perfectly nice beach which is used for that rave once a month. Maybe they should take it down there. I don't know much more about it. Just going further on that, a press conference announcing the festival took place yesterday with the Thai government officials in attendance. The news was followed by a vibrant roster of performances from artists in Thailand, including Titanium, Young Ohm and 1 Mil. I have to admit I'm not familiar with these artists' work, but good luck to them and great to see a nice big international event heading Thailand's way. And finally, Phuket's hospitality industry is struggling despite the rising tourist numbers. This story from Phuket-go.com. I noted that there were about 12 reasons listed by an industry insider who manages quite a few properties in Phuket. Just noting some of these, he said, many hotels in Phuket might report high occupancy, but have they opened up their whole inventory or rooms or just some parts of their hotel? Another point, still many local restaurants and tourist-related businesses are finding it hard to operate, if at all. I've heard many landlords are insisting on the pre-COVID rental rates, which they cannot meet, so they're going out of business. Where will the landlords find new tenants? Don't wait for the Chinese tourist markets. They're not coming back anytime soon. Their current major city lockdowns indicate they have a long way to go before they're confident to reopen. It says staffing is becoming a major issue for hotels, not just here, but in most countries. Airlines, hotel service industries in general, so many have now left the industry for many reasons. I want to know what those many reasons are. Why is the hospitality and the travel industry generally finding it so difficult to get people to come back? If they're saying the wages are too low, why were the wages not too low in the past? And if there's going to be some sort of wage surge, then that's going to increase the problem with inflation around the world as people do return to those jobs. And down the bottom, number 7, Phuket's old image of taxi and tuk-tuk services and rip-offs has never been solved and already started to become an issue once again. So that story in phuket-go.com. I'll put a link to it because there's actually some quite interesting insights that really are targeted and about Phuket specifically, but you'd be able to map those onto the hospitality industry around Thailand. And with that, I thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for putting up with this inferior camera. I'll try and get the other one working for tomorrow. But thank you very much to our sponsors, 5 Star Marine. Been great having you with us over the past 20 minutes or so, and we look forward to doing it all again tomorrow.